Before this video begins, make sure to subscribe and turn on notifications so you never miss an upload. Also, be sure to check out my affiliates down below to get discounts on different car mods and products. Alrighty, let's get into the drive. Hello and welcome. Today we are driving a 2023 Ford Mach-E GT. This is an all-wheel drive model. I would like to thank Flood Ford Lincoln in Narragansett, Rhode Island, for allowing me to both review and test drive this vehicle. I just completed an in-depth review with this Mach-E, so make sure to go check that out, currently out on the channel. Also, before we begin, I personally hate to call this a Mustang, so I won't throughout this review and upcoming test drive. Technically, this is a Ford Mustang, though, so that's why there is a regular trim and the upgraded GT Sporty trim. I'm just stubborn, and I don't like that they gave it the Mustang name and badge, but this does seem to be an impressive vehicle. And let's just do a quick spec run through, and we'll get this out on the road. So this is finished in space white metallic with a black leather and copper interior. This is a 2-row small SUV with seating for 5. It comes in with a curb weight of around 4,920 pounds. This has the upgraded battery pack and motors, so a 91 kilowatt hour battery and dual electric motors making 480 horsepower and 600 pound-feet of torque, with a Ford reported 0 to 60 time of around 3.8 seconds. This is mated with a single-speed direct drive transmission and has a range of around 270 miles. This is lower than the other trim Mach-E's, but the trade-off is because of the great power found here. This is an all-wheel drive model, achieving 90, 77, and 84 mpgE combined. This rides on 20-inch aluminum wheels with 245 wide tires all around. You get ventilated front disc brakes and solid discs in the rear. You also get red painted brake calipers from the factory here in the GT trim level. For safety, you get blind spot monitoring, lane departure alert with lane keep assist, rear cross traffic alert, evasion assist, and auto high beams. This measures in at 186.7 inches long, 74.1 inches wide without the mirrors, 63.5 inches tall, and has 5.7 inches of ground clearance. The base Mach-E has 270 horsepower, while this upgraded one sits far higher at the aforementioned 480 horsepower. This competes with current small list of competitors, such as the Kia EV6, Audi Q4 e-tron, Hyundai Ioniq 5, and the Tesla Model Y. This rides on 4-wheel independent sport-tuned suspension, with struts up front and coil springs in the rear. This GT rides about half an inch lower than a regular Mach-E. And up front, this also does have active grille shutters down below the grille to allow more airflow for those dual motors. And yeah, that is going to be about it. And for a more in-depth review, make sure to go check out the full review done, POV review on the channel with this Mach-E. But we are going to get this out on the road. So here in the center, you do get that 15-inch infotainment system, gigantic, which is awesome. And let me just see if I can find my drive modes around here. For your drive modes here, you get Whisper, which is more of a normal mode, Engage, which is a more sporty mode. So Whisper claims a seamless drive, calm and quiet, smooth acceleration and steering. Engage is a balanced drive for everyday fun, and Unbridle is exhilarating drive. So that's basically a sport mode. So we'll try that out when we do the 0 to 60 in just a moment. You get a dial shifter right here. So popping ourselves into drive. We are in drive now. And yeah, we will get this out on the road. So I've driven a few EVs. I drove the Hyundai Ioniq 5. I haven't done a test drive with it, but I did it around a lot. Same with the, whatever it's called, the Toyota BZ4X. I didn't get to drive that one, but I drove it around a lot. But I think this looks really good in terms of styling. I personally like this a lot because it looks really swoopy and sporty, but it still retains pretty usable rear seat space from what I tested in the review. So that is a great feat, honestly, because this looks a lot better than the others in my opinion. At least at being a sports SUV, because that's what this GT tries to be. And I'm not calling it a Mustang, I'll just call it a Mach-E. You know, love me, hate me, I don't care. I'm not calling it a Mustang, but this thing has impressive power at 480 horsepower, 600 pound-feet of torque with all-wheel drive. This is going to be a fun 0 to 60 in just a moment. Probably under 4 seconds. It's about, what's the temperature outside? I don't know, I don't have it here. But it's around 75 degrees out. So we got some warm road surface, so that's going to be good. But I'm just driving in Whisper mode, so normal easy mode. So you hear the engines whir up a little bit, of course. Nothing bad. 245 tires aren't that wide, but they're not bad, honestly, considering it has all-wheel drive. Okay, regenerative braking is pretty aggressive. I have not driven this at all until now, so this is my first impression, as well as yours. All right. Steering isn't bad. It's so light for steering at the when you're in a parking lot just turning, but it does tighten up a good bit here in Whisper. Let me put it in engage. Okay, I do feel a heavy stiffening of the steering. I do like that. And then if you go into unbridle, okay, yeah, everything gets very heavy in unbridle. So unbridle is a little play like it's a Mustang, you know, like a horse unbridled, where it would be free to do whatever it wants, be rambunctious, all that. So for wind noise so far, this is a really aerodynamic car, especially due to the door handle design, where it actually has push buttons with physical handles up front to grab onto, but with a soft open feature, and in the rear there's actually no real handles. There's just a push button and it does the soft open, so it's pretty interesting right there. Going here about 50. It's pretty quiet. Some wind noise, a little bit of tire noise, but both are pretty quiet, so that's good. A little bit of engine noise, but honestly that's kind of cool. Regenerative braking is, oh my goodness, it's so many levels. Regenerative braking is not linear here, and I don't like that. It's not easy to do a nice gradual stop in this thing. You are like going 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, like that type of a level of braking, and it like hurls you forward between all the levels. I don't like that. And this is Whisper. I'm surprised they didn't tune it down a little bit. I get they probably actually could tune it up for regenerative. Wow, this is a touchy brake pedal. Ooh, I don't love that. Because if I go like this and I stop it, oh, it stops very well. But this thing is kind of a pain to deal with on that front. All right, let's go into unbridle mode, do a 0 to 60. I will put my foot to the floor, shut up, and let you watch the speedo. Let's see. Claims under 4 seconds. Ooh, that is crazy. Wow. It even skittered a tiny bit at the start, and then all-wheel drive kicked right in. Wow. That throws you back. Good bit. Going over really bumpy spots in the road too right there. It rides really well. So it does have a sport tuned suspension. It rides about a ½ inch lower than the other mach-e's. So if I'm going like this, it does okay. And then into unbridle, where you'd actually be doing that. Ooh, it does tighten up big time. That's good. The suspension does tighten up a lot when you're like doing like snaking effect or something. This does very little of it. It rides low. 5.7 inches of ground clearance isn't too much, but wow. This thing is powerful. It's really easy to drive though. It's not very easy to brake. I'll admit, I don't like the brake tuning on this. It's just too aggressive on the regenerative braking. Not that regenerative braking should be exactly easy, because it's obviously pulling power, but, or recovering power, but it's, yeah, it's like a level feeling. It's the best way I can describe it. There's different levels of you braking, and I don't love that. You kind of have to go completely off when you want to like loosen the braking grip. I don't love that. But wow, even in Whisper, this thing is very, very quick on its feet. Wow, this thing is a blast. And this one stickers around $63,000. I don't think it's a bad price, actually. Just in the review, I tore down a lot about this thing. I hate the front trunk. That is something I have to mention. The front trunk in here, so what Ford chose to do, they gave this only one key fob. I know. They only gave this one key fob because most people will be using a smartphone app to open this car, because you can do it that way, so that's pretty cool. But they didn't include a handle up front, and the only way is actually go down below me right here, like a hood latch button. You have to pull twice to open the front trunk, so I hate it so much. But go into the review to learn more about that. I'm not going to go on another rant, but I was very angry about that. Wow. Ooh, this thing is fun. Yeah, you do not want someone like me, a car enthusiast, driving this thing. I will make the range like 30 miles, not 270. Oh my gosh. This is like the F-150 Lightning. It's just amazing how powerful electric motors are so quickly. In really weird form factors, because this is a weird swoopy crossover SUV. That was a full-size pickup truck. It's weird. You know, it's not bad. It's just very, very weird when I'm so used to other things. And that's all in Whisper mode, those speeds that I'm getting to so quickly. This thing is very, very, very quick. All All right, the wheel's as high as it goes, but I'm just hoping that you can see the speedo pretty well over here. It's a moderately quiet car. It's not trying to be a luxury quiet car either, but if you stomp it, that's in whisper mode. That is crazy. Wow, I really do, I would say this is a performance, true performance car. This thing is awesome. I'd say it's a performance car, and that's why I love it at this price, because this kind of power is ridiculous. I know electric, you can get power pretty quickly for cheap, but I'm not discounting the others. I'm just saying this definitely is probably going to hold a similar position for a while, in my opinion at least, of other EVs. Wow. Let me put it unbridled then. I'm taking off here at some point whenever this traffic ends, so I'll be back in a moment. Ooh, you get that like low rumble actually of one of the motors when you are holding the accelerator down, so that is crazy. Not just like you get a whirring effect because obviously it's a electric motor turning, but wow. However, I don't love the throttle here because right now if I'm on the throttle, if I let off, the whole thing is physically like going forward, like dragging a little bit, like it's engine braking, which I believe is regenerative, but I don't think it does that as much as in the other modes. So let's see. So we went to whisper, let off. Not much. So in unbridled, it also tries to recover the most power. Like you're going like back and forth, like if you're going, I don't know, it just drags you forward a little bit. Feels like extreme engine braking. I don't love it. So you wouldn't want to drive in that. Let's drive in engage mode. Engage is more standard mode, more middle of the road. Steering gets a lot heavier. Steering is tight. I wouldn't call it numb. It doesn't have tons of road feel, but let's see. Yeah, it has almost no road feel, but it's very direct and very responsive. I do like it. Yeah, there's almost no road feel going through bumps. A little bit, but nothing much, which I guess is a testament to, this is a really nice balanced suspension actually. It rides pretty tight, but it's not uncomfortable in any way. I'm just chilling here, chilling in whisper mode, going 48. All the noise is pretty quiet, tire and wind noise. It's not silent, but wind noise is a little louder than tire noise, which is good, I guess, because you don't want loud tires all the time. But this is not bad. Oh, I hate the braking though. I really don't like this braking. You can't tap it lightly. It's a big pain. Oh, it has like no travel distance before you're getting that levels effect of your braking power and effort. I don't like that. So, some of my gripes so far, I hate the front trunk engineering. Go to the review to learn more about that, but I don't like the braking here. This braking is too sporty. Even in whisper mode is too sporty. Let me put it in unbridled, see what the braking is like. Oh, wow. That it should be for performance, I understand that, but it doesn't calm down enough for whisper mode. I don't like that. But at around 63,000 for this one, this doesn't have like packages and stuff with it. Beyond just being a GT, I like this price point actually because it has pretty good tech, very nice interior. I love the variation of materials inside. I was talking about that a lot more in the review, but this is a great performance SUV for $63,000. There isn't much around here that can do this. Look at that. That's not even my foot to the floor. That was just moderate. Oh my goodness. I like this thing. However, the braking is a big pain. I really don't like the braking. I don't know how much I would like driving this. I'm in a small town. Not tons of stops, but you know, going into town and around here there are some stops. I don't really like this. Over here in Narragansett is balanced, but there aren't really big open stretches very much. I'm going to the couple that are here, but I don't know. Let's go into unbridle again. Give it a little punch. Ooh, I really like that sound. It does get some wind noise pretty high though, above 65 it seems like. That's expected, but it's not silent, where a couple of the true luxury cars could be more, a lot more quiet. You get like a deep rumbling sound from the engine when you hold on to the accelerator. I like that, in addition to that whirring sound, so that's pretty cool to me. Alrighty, so for my final thoughts on test driving this 2023 Ford Mach-E GT. This is a great car. I don't like it as a Mustang, but throw that out the door. This is a great performance SUV that has some real utility. This is appropriately sized, but it's appropriately tuned to be useful for a family and for other things like that. It has usable rear seat room. It's not an exorbitant price. It has dual motors that produce 600 pound-feet of torque, 480 horsepower, which is awesome, especially at this size. Not a crazy curb weight, around 4,900 pounds. Not massive, even with a heavy battery pack. This is the upgraded battery pack too. Nothing bad. So nothing that bad. And visibility is pretty good. Out the rear is a little bit imperfect, but really it's a pretty good sized window too, still, for what it is. So that's pretty decent. Has a lot of nice tech features. Very varied interior, and I like it for the most part. The power is there. I wouldn't exactly call the driving dynamics fully there though. It handles well, goes up to speed crazy fast, and it's pretty manageable to drive at a normal pace. But I hate this braking. I really don't like it. In the whisper mode, it's so aggressive. I may personally like this car, but I'm a car enthusiast. I don't know too many people that would love this as a daily, just because it's so grabby on the brakes all the time. And even in whisper mode, its most calm mode, it's not going to be exactly perfect right there for small driving like this, through crowded areas like this, any of that. I don't think this is a fun car for that. But this really is an impressive vehicle. The braking though, the braking is definitely going to be something you need to analyze yourself. It might be a braking point, might be a deciding factor for a lot of people, just because to some it would make it unpleasant to drive. It would be knocking you around a lot, throwing you around a lot, where some people might just not want that. So, but on a raw power basis and handling and how put together this seems, I like it. So, and for the price point, I think it's really good, because the gas equivalent you get for this, some BMWs can be in the 60s. This is really fun. As a performance car, this is really fun. I just don't know if it's the most dailyable of the few. Alrighty, that'll just about wrap up this test drive of a 2023 Ford Mach-E. As always, thank you again to Flood Ford Lincoln in Narragansett, Rhode Island, for allowing me to review and test drive this vehicle. Go check out my full in-depth review currently out on the channel to hear about my other gripes, like the front trunk with this, but overall just get an in-depth tour. As always, drive with passion. Thank you very much for watching, and take care.